Well, the Calgary Flames lost 5-1 to the worst team in the NHL, and now they are the worst team in the NHL after this game against the Nashville Predators at Bridgestone Arena. Mike Gould and Ryan Pike here with you to break it down on tonight's edition of Afterburner, a presentation of Bet365. Whatever your bet, it is never ordinary at Bet365. Download the app and get in on the game. Use the code NATION. And, of course, while you're with us on the Afterburner, you can take part using the Afterburner Superchat, proceeds from which go to Youth Centers of Calgary, a place where kids are welcomed and accepted as they are, a place where they can get a break from the chronic stress that is the reality for many of their lives, and where they can flourish through connections and fun. Pike, 5-1 the loss tonight for the Calgary Flames. As mentioned off the top, they are now in last place once again in the National Hockey League. They went on a bit of a run there for a week or so.
Maybe they were 4-1-1 in their past 6 going into this game, and I think their record largely reflected the quality of their play.
But going back to that, they did not really gain any ground on those teams that were around them. They entered this game 0.007 of a percentage point ahead of the Nashville Predators in the overall standings. The Flames had a .407 points percentage. The Preds were down at exactly 400. And now there's a gap. It was a 4-point swing at the bottom of the NHL standings tonight. And the Predators, with a 5-1 win, have catapulted ahead of the Flames. They have 22 points in 26 games. The Flames have 22 points in 28 games. And wouldn't you know it, unrelated, Mission McKenna shirts are available for purchase over at nationgear.ca. Pike, the Flames tonight, I think the best word to describe their performance, ill-prepared.
Yeah, and I mean, we heard of the broadcast, like they've had a long road trip, and they looked tired. They looked like they were thinking of the plane and sleeping on the way home and their own beds and all the snow shoveling they got to do when they get home and everything but that hockey game. They looked slow, disengaged. I'll give them credit. I thought they were decent in the first period. In the first 5 or 10 minutes of the second, they did some good things. They weren't rewarded for it. And then the bottom fell out from under them and the game got away from them in a quick, very quickly there.
We talked on a recent show, Pike, about how the Warmies era has been very kind to the Calgary Flames. I believe at one point, entering even this game, I believe they were 5-3-2 in the Warmies era for the Calgary Flames. And I think I have to take some personal responsibility for their performance in tonight's game. I don't think I gave the Flames a good enough chance to get properly warm with the abbreviated pregame show that we put together. It won't happen again. Let's just leave it like that. The Flames never looked warm in this game. They arguably had a little bit of pop, maybe right off the top, but it didn't take long for a player one of the few players who I had time to single out on the pregame show before it all went downhill, Reed Schaefer, a former Edmonton Oilers prospect who was
Cooley, and then they can't box out Reed Schaefer, and he gets his first National Hockey League goal, and he continues a grand tradition of Oilers draft picks doing well once they leave Edmonton.
Well, it's funny because the Oilers, as we mentioned, parted ways with Schaefer to get Matthias Ekholm, and obviously Ekholm played an integral part in them reaching 2 Stanley Cup finals. The thing is, though, just adding to that group, as you mentioned, of Oilers youngsters who have departed the capital city, and how many of these guys could the NHL club use now with their depth looking so depleted? Schaefer, a 6'4", 226 left winger, born in Edmonton, played for the Spruce Grove Saints. Ended up playing with the Seattle Thunderbirds, won a WHL title with them in 2023.
Captained by Lucas Siona.
That's right. You never miss a moment, don't you? And Schaefer's got 14 points in 15 American League games with Milwaukee this year. And he was a first-round pick of the Oilers back in 2022. Again, we've talked about it so often. The Oilers are down in Minnesota tonight. Just another player who the Oilers could really use to strengthen their depth forward group because it is not looking good so far up north. It continued into the second period. We talked about a player getting his first point in the NHL and Reed Schaefer. Steven Stamkos getting his 1,200th, becoming the 6th
play. And also, you look at that sequence and go, I don't entirely know what everybody in white was doing. You could almost break that down player by player and go, there's a lot of mistakes being made at once there.
Very much so. You mentioned Luke Evangelista, who made the nice setup on the Stamkos goal, which ended up being the winner in this game, which ended up by a 5-1 final score. It was interesting in the summer, a couple RFAs on these two teams who went a while without a contract in Connor Zary and Luke Evangelista. And Luke Evangelista, for all the talk that sometimes these players get hampered by these long holdouts, and we're kind of seeing it with Zary right now as he's still stuck at 4 points. Evangelista up to 18 in 25 games this season. So one of the few bright spots so far for this Nashville Predators team.
Did he miss camp at all?
Evangelista?
Yeah.
Did Zary?
I mean, he's not holding out. You'd have a contract.
I get it.
If you're not under contract, you're not required to provide services to an employer.
Evangelista went unsigned for a while. He didn't sign until October 4th. So he missed all of camp, basically.
Yeah.
Missing camp is a big...
You'd rather be in camp than not, but you'd also rather have a fair and equitable contract than not.
Oh, no, I'm not disputing that. I think it was very silly that Nashville didn't sign him earlier, but yeah, sometimes it just maybe it emboldens you to go out and provide a little more. And for Evangelista, he's done a good job of it in the early stages of this season. We've talked a lot about the Predators and their sort of hodgepodge of players on big contracts who are in their 30s. Continued in that second period with Jonathan Marchessault wiring one in from long distance. For Marchessault, his 5th goal of the season. I posited on the postgame show after the Carolina game, mess in the Flames defensive zone, especially for Dryden Hunt.
Dryden Hunt loses a stick there, but it basically looked like a Nashville power play. They're able to move the puck around almost at will, and they made. I'll give Marchessault credit. He made a slight move laterally to stack up a couple layers of traffic in front of the goalie, which well done, sir, because it got him a goal. And this is where it really started to get away from the Flames, because you're on the road, you're tired, you're banged up, you're like, all right, 2-0. If you can make it to that intermission down 2-0, you're thinking, okay, get early one, and then you get a chance. And then the opposite happened.
They did not. A minute 7 after Jonathan Marchessault scored his 5th goal of the season, a second Predators player scored his first NHL goal, and it's a Calgary kid, Ozzy Weisblatt, tipping in a little touch pass from Michael Bunting. Good to see the Calgary kid, especially after all the tragedy around the Weisblatt family this past off season. Nice little moment there,
as he's deserved it. This is one where you're like, oh, Weisblatt gets position on Kuznetsov, and Weisblatt's not a small kid. He's like, all right, I'm going to the net, and we'll see what happens. And Bunting makes a really nice play. I don't know how that pass got through. I don't know how Weisblatt was open. I think the defensive details in this game, as we've seen on the previous 3 goals, spotty, let's say. Yeah, it was a nice moment, but it's one of those things where you go, ooh, this is one of those nights where you don't really like to see a lot of milestones go against the Flames, because it showed that they were not playing especially well in any respect by this point.
Everybody expects to see Dustin Wolf in net on Thursday when the Flames take on the Minnesota Wild at the Saddledome for the first game of their Blasty week, or I guess Blasty weekend, we should say. 3 consecutive games where they'll be wearing the black sweaters on home ice. Wolf, though, got into action a little bit earlier than expected, playing the entire third period at Bridgestone Arena tonight. And early on, Michael Bunting made it a 5-0 game. Adam Wilsby and tight score effects very much played a role in that. The Flames did score later in the third period, with Morgan Frost getting his 7th goal of the young season. Nazem Kadri setting it up regulation time, but by then, pretty much a formality.
And for our podcast listeners who do not have the benefit of video, the body language of the Flames players when they broke the shutout was essentially just, all right, I guess so. Let's go to the plane. We're done.
Dejected.
Yeah, probably the most muted goal celebration I've ever seen, especially for a goal. It was actually pretty nice.
I remember Tobias Reeder scoring his first goal as a Flame in the latter stages of, I think, a loss to Washington at the Saddledome with like 30 seconds left. And at least that goal was at home, and it was Reeder's first goal, I think, in over a year. But still, that was what that reminded me of with the Flames down late. Just or even I'm trying to remember if it was Chris Stewart or Nick Shore scoring their only goal as a Flame, again late in the blowout. Remember that stretch drive in 2017-18 when those were their 2 major acquisitions? And that was the temperament of that goal celebration.
I remember a trade deadline where their major acquisition was getting a lot of phone calls about Tim Jackman, so they re-signed Tim Jackman that
to
day.
a 4-year deal.
Whatever the hell it was. It was. Yeah.
Tim Jackman scored, I believe, 11 goals with the Flames in his first season and 2 after that.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Flames, this was the vaunted Tank Bowl, the 31st and 32nd overall teams clashing. And one team looked much sharper than the other one. And I don't know, maybe this could be, we look back at that bad week in January in St. Louis after 82 games and went, oh, dang, Flames get 1 point out of that. Maybe we're singing a different tune. Well, maybe we'll look at the 0 points the Flames got in their 2 trips to Nashville, and maybe it'll be a difference maker of some kind.
Yeah, it certainly seems like the Flames season reached an inflection point tonight, and they're heading home. They have not played a whole lot at home this season. They're wearing the Blasty jerseys. Weird things always happen when they wear those. And we'll get into the road ahead here shortly, but they've got some interesting opponents coming up. So,
And, off the top, I did some math while you were talking about whatever. So you were talking about how the Flames have played better recently, and they haven't made up much ground. I've got some math for you.
Do it.
So if you adjust for points percentage or different games played, and just go, how many points do they need to match the team they're chasing in points percentage? On November 1st, they needed 9. Here we are 31 days later. It's December 2nd now. They're 8 points back. So despite playing some pretty decent hockey and doing a lot of good things in the interim
and getting some wins,
they've played good. They've gotten some wins. I argue, would have been better more often than not than the other team. They have made up exactly 1 point. And this is with a lot of things going well for them. So I believe after the Utah loss, Ryan Huska said something along the lines of, you can't make the playoffs in October, but you sure can mess them. Yeah, it's pretty apt, isn't it?
Well, yeah, and I'll put something in perspective here because the Flames have a points percentage now sub 400, and they are the only team in the entire league to meet that criteria as of right now. 393 are the Flames so far this season. Nobody in the East is below 500. That's something to consider. But also this time last year, December 2nd of 2024, there were only 2 teams below 400 as well. And they were the Montreal Canadiens, who were at 396. And then the Chicago Blackhawks were at 360. So, and again, those were Montreal ended up making the playoffs last year, which was kind of a surprise. Chicago very much did not. And the other teams around Chicago in the standings at that point in the season last year very much did not. So either you're Montreal with a young core that's just working out some kinks and is clearly on the way to greater things, or you're Chicago from last year, or you're the Calgary Flames this year. They are what they are ultimately. And I think they've shown us through the first however many games they've played this season that we can sort of trust them to be a certain team on any given night.
And just throwing it out there, May 4th, the first Monday in May, would probably be the draft lottery live broadcast. It was May 5th last year, and they're usually pretty consistent. So just, I'm not saying anything in particular. I'm just throwing out dates that might be interesting for people to, maybe be in town that week. Don't go on any extravagant trips quite yet. We'll still have work to do, Michael.
That's right.
Probably.
We do have a super chat, and it is a similar vein in talking about relevant dates. $13.99 from Lord Bolo 81. Jack, we might need your input on this because Lord Bolo is asking, when's the Drinky Show start? I don't know if Pike and I are at liberty to disclose that. Jack, what's your take on this? Can you let the people know?
I can let the people know.
Tell them.
December 19th. I believe
December 19th.
Friday. Yes, sir.
It's a Friday, and I think Pike and I will both be there. I
Yes,
think
you guys better be there.
We'll be at the studio. I don't know if we'll be taking part. Pike might.
The Flames are off that day.
They are?
Yeah.
There you go. You don't
There you go.
anything else supposed to do? So yeah, it'll be December the 19th. Last year's was a lot of fun. I got to watch Rhett absolutely humiliate RJ over and over and over again.
Such a sweet boy, and RJ's okay too.
That's right. Oh, I see what you did there. If we can lose this badly to the Preds, continues Lord Bolo 81, even Don Baloney should see we got to fire the 30-year-olds into the fire for picks. Fire them into the fire. Conroy, please trade all the old desks. Thanks.
As an aside, as a native English speaker, I can make fun of our stupid language. How is it spelled that way? But you pronounce it baloney.
It's like lasagna, but it's
who designed
Bologna.
this language with all its stupid contradictory rules? I don't like it.
Bologna. That's what I would say. Great super chat. Keep them coming, everybody. Super chats benefit the youth centers of Calgary. Hey, we got some stuff to talk about as we continue on in the show here. We'll talk a little bit about games in progress. Not sure how deep into them we will get as we are on air, but late in the third period in Colorado, the Vancouver Canucks losing yet again, 3-1 against the Colorado Avalanche. There was interesting chatter, I believe, on 650 out west earlier today about the possibility of maybe Dale Talon being a name on the Canucks radar. Wouldn't that be something as a new voice in their hockey operations department?
Like instead of someone or in addition to someone?
I don't know. That was purportedly maybe eventually instead of somebody.
Oh, like the hire Jay Feaster as an assistant GM, and he's just sort of waiting there twirling his keys for 6 months until stuff happens.
Something like that.
Yeah.
The Canucks are going nowhere fast. Speaking of going nowhere fast, although now that I've said it, I'm probably going to jinx it. The Minnesota Wild are up 1-0 on the Edmonton Oilers. And guess who's between the pipes for Minnesota tonight? It's Jesper Wallstedt, who the Oilers could have picked in 2021 and chose not to.
Not the man they call Gus the Bus,
who
might lose his Olympic spot to his teammate.
Not Philip Gustafson, although, yeah, talk about a great goaltending tandem for the Minnesota Wild. I mean, we've talked throughout the show, the Oilers giving away guys, and I mean, they never even had this guy, but they gave away the chance to pick him to take Xavier Bourgault, who they turned into Roby Järventie. So
I love that. That's a fun name.
Roby Järventie? Yeah, it's not bad. I've known many a Roby in my time. Also on the docket tonight, Chicago and Vegas are tied at 1. Vegas has Carter Hart in net, and he let in the second shot he faced. Of course, that's relevant for the Flames draft positioning and for other reasons. The Washington Capitals up 1-0 on the LA Kings late in the first period, and then some in the books. Ottawa beating Montreal 5-2. Detroit edging the Boston Bruins by a 5-4 score. The New York Islanders doubling up the Lightning 2-1. The Rangers beating the Dallas Stars 3-2 in overtime. And the Toronto Maple Leafs quadrupling the Florida Panthers by a 4-1 final score. Florida still just fledgling. Fledgling. They're the fledgling Florida Panthers.
I mean, they won 2 Stanley Cups. They're not a fledgling anything.
I get it, but this season they're fledgling. They are currently last in the Eastern Conference.
I would call them flailing, not fledgling.
Yeah, they're both.
You're using the wrong F word to describe the F team.
There are many F words that I could use.
This is true. Speaking of things that are going on right now, midway through the second period in scenic Abbotsford, British Columbia, Wranglers 0, Abbotsford 0. Currently, the shots on goal are 21-10 for the baby Canucks.
Wow.
This is game 7 of a 10-game roadie for the Flaming W's. They will play today, they'll play tomorrow, and then they play in Ontario over the weekend, and then they're back home next week. And since we're plugging local hockey, I'll point out that Sunday is the Hitman Teddy Bear Toss game. Tickets are almost sold out, so if you want to go, get on that quickly. If you've never been, it's very fun, but beware, once they score the teddy bear goal, there's a lot of downtime, so just be prepared to have a little bit of a wait. It's basically an extra intermission.
See if Cass Vilgrain can get me into that game. That'd be a fun one to go to. Hey, well, Sunday, what better way to spend a Sunday? We do have a special Australian super chat, mate. I don't know if that's offensive, but shrimp in the Barbie, mate, with 2 Aussie dollary-doos. 54 games, 54 more games to come up with talking points. Hey, I'm glad you said it. I'm glad you said it and not me.
We're if you thought COVID was tough to get through.
That was a 54 game season or 56 games.
Oh no, think of the downtime, man.
We
had no games from like that one awkward week in February and March until God knows when. I I try not to think about it, but if we were stretching for content, then I think we'll be okay now. But ooh.
Milk Tobo 7418 adding, just snacking on some Vegemite. I'm not sure. I should probably stop with the accent.
Is this cultural appropriation?
It's not very good.
Pinder's allowed to do the accent because he married Nazi. I don't know if you have the same powers.
I need that user. I need Shrimp Barbie Mate to tell me if I should stop doing that. I'll stop doing it regardless.
I mean, as a person with ears, I'm offended by it. But
there you go. It's not very. I can't do voices. I can't do any voices.
You have strengths, but
not voices.
Making weird accents was not one of them.
That's right. I just can't do it at all. Hey, going back to the Oilers selling and buying and doing all sorts of stupid things. If Derek Newman was their general manager, I bet you they would have drafted Jesper Wallstedt. Because he's got the eye, he's got the pulse, he's got his finger in all the pies.
I mean, if Derek Newman was their GM, they probably would have figured out a way to draft a little bit higher with all his wheeling and dealing.
And if Derek Newman was their general manager, he probably would have found them a better looking arena. Am I right?
It looks like a food dehumidifier.
It looks terrible.
It's nice at the inside, but it's just there's no street life to it.
Yeah. Now chat's asking me to sing 6 White Boomers. I'm not even going to bother with that.
If we'll just put this out there, if we get enough contributions to the Youth Centers of Calgary during the Drinky Show,
we'll do that.
Maybe we can cajole Mike into singing in his terrible Aussie accent.
A $100 super chat tonight would get the 6 White Boomers right away. We'll leave it at that. Leave the people wanting more. Derek Newman Group with CIR Realty. If you're buying or selling, let Derek do the work for you. Email him at dnewman@cirrealty.ca or call 403-619-6661. Visit dereknewmangroup.com. And if you buy one of the properties that he's most excited about, I'm sure you can get him to sing too. Derek's a great guy with a people-first approach, unmatched service, trusted experience, and community and connection beyond real estate. So if you're interested in buying or selling your home in the greater Calgary area, just give him a call and he'll make it easy for you. Once again, that is 403-619-6661. Shrimp Barbie Mate with the chat, Jack, we got to put this up. If I can put A at the end of my super chat, you are fine, Gould. I like that because he is using a Canadian phrase. I
mean, I'm pretty sure we stole that from the Dutch.
Probably. You call that a knife? This is a knife. That was just reading the comment. That's Milk Tobo. Hey, we're 26 minutes into this thing. And,
hey, if you're still with us, head over to nationgear.ca and check out the Top Shelf Elf auction, because if you've stuck it out this long, you're obviously very giving people.
Oh yeah.
So give it to a good cause too.
Well, and while you're over there,
we do have merchandise on sale. There are some shirts that some of you might like.
But also, while you're over at nationgear.ca, you can also, well, this is something. This is a look at the Top Shelf Elf auction. But also, is this, Jack, are you sharing your screen right now?
You had to close a lot of tabs in a hurry.
Yeah, you can do that, eh?
Is this live?
This is live.
This is live. Holy smokes.
These are some snazzy graphics.
The
graphics team is doing some
This
nice
is unbelievable. Not what I was expecting. I thought this was like prefabbed, like B-roll that Jack.
No, I'm waiting for you to tell the people. What do you want me to pull up?
Well, I'm going to tell them because January 23rd to 25th, 2026. Here it is now. It is the Jasper Pond Hockey Tournament back at the Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge, and all you got to do is head to nationgear.ca and click that red button, and you can do the rest from there. It's going to be awesome. 4-on-4 pond hockey on the ODR with teams of 4 to 8 players battling it out for the coveted Jasper Cup, and you'll hang out with some of us. I've officially sent out feelers, Pike. I've sent out feelers to see if I can wiggle my way up there.
So if a bunch of people say no, then you're on the roster.
No, I guess. Yeah, I am the third backup. I am the backup to the backup to the backup, but I'm also their backup. So like there's backups and then there's levels to it. It's like Inception. You have the dreams. I'm the third backup behind the third backup.
So you're Connor Murphy.
You're
Arseny Sergayev.
I'm Arseny Sergayev. I'm Yegor Yegorov.
Okay, look, list. I'm scrolling through the top shelf elf auction because it was one of those games. The barn burner experience, I'll plug. It's currently $875. If you are the winning bidder there, you get to watch the boys do a broadcast and then do lunch with them. And you get some merch too. This is gonna be just a chaotic experience that you'll be telling your friends about how ridiculous these guys are. I'll also point out the Calgary Flames experience includes 4 tickets and sitting in for morning skate with a certain general manager of a hockey club.
I should bid on that one.
So there's a lot of good stuff here, and it goes to benefit a really good cause. So please, once you get your Christmas shopping done, I'd argue start your Christmas shopping here, and then
that's right. It's December 2nd,
and then go from there. But we got, I believe, just over a week, 7 days and 14 hours as of this recording. So, I'd say if you want to be sneaky, just bookmark the page and check it out every morning, and then just go in and get all the stuff you want at the end.
Yeah. Jux JC, I need to clarify here. No, I'm not a goalie. I'm just saying I'm a backup in terms of backing up, other folks able to be at the present on location in Jasper. But no, I was a natural winger in my days.
What's the natural winger mean?
Well, I played on the wing.
That just means you weren't good enough to be center.
That's right. That's well, tell that to Gavin McKenna. But no, I was a right winger all my life, and then I played center by necessity, and then I stopped playing hockey because I lacked certain physical attributes necessary to continue.
I hurt my knee before tryouts one year.
Yeah,
and then,
would have made it.
I made the NHL the way I was going to.
There you go.
I had bad hands and bad boots, and you got to have one.
That's right. Yeah, you got to. Yeah, in my case, had none. We should tell a little bit. We should talk a little bit about the road ahead because it's coming up. 3 games coming up this week, all in Calgary. Technically, there's more games after that in Calgary, but we're going to talk about the Blasty games first. They're back in black. The Calgary Flames have not worn their black uniforms all year. They haven't worn a speck of black.
They are, as the marketing team calls it, in dark mode.
In dark mode, that's right. Playing against not against Calgary, holy smokes, against Minnesota, Utah, and Buffalo. To me, them wearing the black uniforms in those 3 games is as transparent an instance of we need to figure out how to sell tickets to these games. But hey, it's the Minnesota Wild, at the very least, have turned into a bit of a team to watch over the last little bit. They're still leading the Edmonton Oilers tonight. But before we really get into it, we should tell you, Road Ahead is brought to you by the good folks up at Platinum Mitsubishi, family-owned and operated by lifelong Calgarians, where lease and finance rates start at 0%. Check out the Mitsubishi Outlander PHEV, Canada's best-selling plug-in hybrid SUV, or the new 2026 Outlander mild hybrids. Any Outlander you can get today is a hybrid, but they got plug-in hybrids and they got just regular mild hybrids. If you don't want to plug in your car, you just sort of let it do the work for you. And it still takes traditional gas. You don't have to worry about range anxiety or anything like that. You can just drive it like a car, and it'll be just like a car because it is a car. Head on up to 2720 Barlow Trail Northeast and get into the best back cars in the country with a standard 10-year powertrain warranty. 10 years, an awfully long time. And you want to be in a car that'll treat you right. These next 3 games are going to be a big tell for the Calgary Flames as they move forward. We talked about Minnesota playing pretty well. The team they're playing after that, the Utah Mammoth, is just playing horribly right now. They've lost 13 of their last 18 games after briefly leading the entire National Hockey League in points early in October. They're now, I believe, tied for 5th last in the entire NHL. And then the Buffalo Sabres, after that, a team that is actually starting to find their way a little bit. They've defeated Utah, but recently, in terms of yesterday, it was Josh Norris who drove the bus for the Buffalo Sabres in his first game back after a lengthy injury absence as they defeated the Winnipeg Jets by a 5-1 score. So, Pike, maybe your takeaway on the Flames' dark mode games coming up.
That's a good question. They've shown the ability to play good hockey and win games. They've also shown the ability to just let things get away from them at times where you go, ooh, maybe you shouldn't have done that. Like, tonight they let 30 pretty decent minutes completely go to waste because they just completely forgot their details. And, I don't think you can ever fault them for effort, but there's just one of those things where a lot of nights they're going to be outgunned, and a lot of nights they have to play essentially mistake-free hockey to have a fighting chance. And that seems like a tough way to do it. So I don't know. Minnesota, even though they're not firing all cylinders right now, they got two good goalies. They have some guys that can put the puck in the net. They've got a tremendously underrated blue line group. Like when Brock Faber's sometimes in your second pairing, that means you got a bunch of good D in front of him. And then, you've waxed poetic about your affection for the team formerly known as the Coyotes or the Jets. Where the hell there were all these former names. We might as well call them the Utah Nomads.
That's right.
That would have been a fun name.
That would have been a good name.
But yeah, I mean, Utah has been really fun this year. They're trending towards being the playoffs. Yeah, this on paper. I don't know if there's easy games here. Like maybe Buffalo, but I don't know. I don't know, man. I
don't know if I would say Utah is trending to be in the playoffs at this point. They've lost a lot of games. They fell 6-3 to San Jose last night, 1-0 to St. Louis 2 nights previous. Boy, that is a team that has a lot of issues, even though they are, they have a lot of high octane offense. The Flames have played against Utah once this year, though, and they lost 3-1 to them back on October the 15th. For the other two teams, I believe it'll be their first matchup. Check that. They lost 2-0 to the Minnesota Wild as well. Remember, who could forget that game in the middle of November when they lost 2-0 at the formerly XL Energy Center? Now
it's named after a casino. It's
I forget
Casino
what it is.
Arena.
Yeah, something like that. So they're playing Minnesota next, then in Utah, then in Buffalo. Then after that, they're playing against the Detroit Red Wings, who defeated the Boston Bruins tonight, before heading back on the road for 2 more games in California. The Kings and the Sharks to take us to the middle of December, at which point we'll be very much firmly in World Juniors mode. So, or at least World Junior anticipation mode around these parts. So that's a look at the road ahead. Before we do the outro here, we should also mention on the road abroad and the road away from Calgary, an update in scoring in the American League game going on, an all-name goal. Mackenzie McEachran, assisted by Kirill Kudryavtsev, and the secondary assist scored by a guy who I'm just learning about now for the first time. His name is Phip Waugh. That's an incredible name.
Roy or Waugh?
Waugh. And I'm not saying it's not spelled Waugh as in R-O-Y. It's spelled W-A-U-G-H. His name is Phip Waugh. How about that? So that's on the out-of-town scoreboard. The Calgary Wranglers down 1 to the Abbotsford Canucks off that goal by, once again, McEachran from Kudryavtsev and Phip Waugh.
They took Waugh's assist.
They took away Phip Waugh's assist?
Chase Waters got the other assist.
Chase Waters got the assist?
Chase Waters, yeah.
Oh, man.
So it's, your boy.
My boy Phip Waugh.
Phip Waugh.
I'm not even kidding. That's his name. P-H-I-P.
Phip is a great. Oh, he's got a fun headshot too.
I know. I saw that on Hockey
He's
DB.
from Virginia.
I know. I saw that too.
The Pride in McLean, Virginia, playing in his.
Whoa! What is going on here? Warmies is infesting the Afterburner show. We're having tech problems all day.
That is his second point in the American League this year, 3rd overall. He spent last year with the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins of The Office fame.
Yeah.
And also of having just a fantastic logo.
Yeah. Phip Waugh. That's
Phip Waugh.
His name, again, P-H-I-P. That is outstanding. That's like awesome.
They spelled Philip and then forgot to put the rest of the letters in
I would assume his name is probably Philip, and they just call him Phip. It's like there was a guy who was, I think, drafted by maybe Tampa Bay a few years ago, and his name is Robert Cooper Flinton.
It's just a great name.
It really is. Robert Cooper Flinton.
It's no Ivan.
But Cooper is his nickname. It's Robert Flinton, but everybody calls him Cooper. Hey, we got a poll that's going on in our chat. Great work, Jack, putting this one up. Did you watch the entire game? 92 votes, 72% say no, Pike. Did you watch the entire game, Pike?
I was in the car when
the bunting goal.
5th goal went in.
Yeah, me too.
I was parking and I had to go back and watch it, and it was a bad break for the Flames, but it came after for pretty much mistake-free or
Yeah.
mistake-filled goals. So
Mistake-free goals.
well, I mean, you know who didn't make mistakes?
What's that?
Nashville.
That's right. Nashville
they couldn't get the shutout.
Nashville played a pretty good game. Bad news. Good news. We'll start with the good news first. And mercifully, from my part, Kent Wilson and I were on the last Afterburner show, and we'd mentioned, I have this running thing going until the end of December, in conjunction with the Calgary Health Foundation. Calgary Health Foundation's asking folks to contribute. They have Lanny McDonald and his incredible story. You can go to givehealth.ca to watch all the videos. You've probably seen them on the television.
Make sure you have some tissues because that's
right. It's great.
If you want to hear a story about Lanny McDonald almost dying,
it's very emotional.
And then thankfully not.
No,
you're going on a roller coaster ride. Spoilers.
Yeah. So until December 31st, Calgary Health Foundation will match any donation to their cause, and you go to givehealth.ca. And it's a great foundation. They're raising funds for upgraded cardiac catheterization labs that help doctors diagnose and treat heart disease faster and better than ever. And to play my part a little bit in this, I have pledged to give $25 until the end of December when this promo is going on for each point that Connor Zary and Yegor Sharangovich record over this span combined. So 25 for each of them.
What's Kent doing?
I actually don't know. I think it was Lomberg.
I was Lomberg.
Or you were Lomberg.
I picked Lomberg.
You were Lomberg. I don't even know. I think we'll have to double check with Kent.
And all this old white guys.
I know.
Together for you.
Yeah. Yeah. What's that about? 6 white boomers. But.
I'm a millennial.
Couldn't resist.
I don't think we have any boomers.
No, I don't think we do. But. So I on the last show, I sort of saw the danger coming because you can never count on those guys to record points when you ask them to. So there is a minimum threshold. If they don't combine to score 4 points at least in the month of December, we'll make sure it's at least 100.
Since I made my $20 for every Lomberg point pledge, he hasn't played a game.
It's your fault, Ryan.
I'm gonna have to have some words with us.
Yeah.
I'm trying to give some money to charity guy, but
yeah. So a minimum 100, but yeah, for each point that Connor Zary and Yegor Sharangovich record over the month of December, $25 for each point. And so far, the results have just not been all that encouraging. But we are going to remain steadfast. We're remaining hopeful. We're remaining excited about watching the Calgary Flames in their remaining, 56 games in the 2024-5? 54 games. Even better.
They played 28.
Even better in the 25-26 season. So a way to give back, a way to support a great cause. Again, you should head over to givehealth.ca and watch the videos about Lanny McDonald's comeback because it's really something. And hey, maybe the Flames have got some more comebacks in them this season. So do what you can for the folks over at the Calgary Health Foundation. A couple more things to get to today, Pike. The chat is lively. The chat is lively as usual. Folks are talking about the Lamborghini. People are asking why Dryden Hunt has been playing. Shrimp Barbie Mate's asking if I got a fresh haircut. You must have missed a few shows, man. It was fresh at one point. It's been about 3 weeks.
This obviously isn't your baby hair.
Been about 3 weeks. Soul of a Dead Machine saying that they should change the name of the Warmies to the Luke Warmies. That's tonight it would be apt. Tonight it would have been appropriate. And Milk Tobo is asking, do we know how bad Hansik's injury is? We do. He's basically done for the year.
Yeah, he had surgery and he's going to be out up to 6 months. So yeah,
we don't think he'll be back.
He's done. He's not going to be. They're more likely than not. They're not playing past April, and he would need them to play well into June to have a chance of coming back. So he ain't coming back.
It's not happening.
Sadly, he's also missing the Olympics. The thing that made me the most upset when I saw the timeline, my initial thought was, "Oh, damn, he's missing the Olympics," because he was so good, and he would have been. I mean, Slovakia wasn't going to medal, but it would have been pretty fun for him to represent his country. So.
Pike, want to get something out of the way here. We've talked so often about Pike bombs on our show. I want to present a Mike bomb on this Tuesday evening. The Minnesota Wild have defeated the Edmonton Oilers on home ice at whatever they're calling that arena by a 1-0 final score. Jesper Wallstedt shuts out the Oilers at Rogers Place. That's what it's called. Holy moly. How about that?
But get shut out on home ice by Jesper Wallstedt.
Yeah. That is fitting.
So it wasn't even the weird casino arena. It was the weird Edmonton
arena. It was in Edmonton. Yeah, isn't that something?
I almost feel bad for them.
Oh, that is not good. The Oilers fall to 11-11-5. And they remain 1 point out of the playoffs in the Western Conference because the Western Conference is an absolute mess. But yeah, that's a little too on the nose even for me. Losing to the guy who you could have drafted and
what's the meme? Oh no. Anyway.
Yeah. The Oilers, if you're not fully aware, back at the 2021 NHL draft, the Oilers, I believe, possessed the 20th overall pick or maybe the 19th pick, something like that. They traded it down to Minnesota. Minnesota gave them a later first-round pick and the 90th overall pick, which they used to select respectively Xavier Bourgault and Luka Munzenberger. And the Minnesota Wild have Jesper Wallstedt, the NHL's shutout leader.
I forget, is Luka Munzenberger German or Swiss?
Maybe a bit of both.
I think he's German. He might be from if he's Swiss, he's from the German side of Switzerland.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I honestly if you want to be super meta about this, the Edmonton Oilers make it to the Stanley Cup Finals twice, finding ways to lose painfully 2 years in a row, solving precisely zero of the roster problems that everyone outside of Edmonton pointed out 2 summers in a row. And then now they are outside of a playoff spot, right?
If anything, they've actively made their roster problems worse.
And this is after the best player took a sweetheart contract that probably paid him between $5 and $10 million below what he should be getting.
Shrimp on the Bobby, mate, saying that Gould's on the Aussie side of Canada, huh? That's bad. That's the last one for the day. That was the worst. That sounded more like I don't know. I'm not even going to attempt to pinpoint what that sounded like. Whew, not good. Apparently Huska's post-game interview is up if you want to go watch it. Probably a whole lot about how they weren't happy with how they played tonight. If you want to watch that, you can. If not, you're going to have to listen to us talk about a really great establishment. Actually, no. 2 great establishments.
One of them is technically 3 great establishments, depending on your perspective.
Okay, so if we're going to split hairs about this, I think we can technically qualify it as 4 establishments.
Because there's one on 4th and there's one on 8th that's sort of 3.
That's sort of 3.
Okay.
Either way, we're talking about the Unicorn. Now, should they call the one on 8th Avenue then the Tricorn? That doesn't really ring a bell. That doesn't really roll off the tongue very well. I think they've got the naming conventions down pat. Either way, it's Calgary Super Pub. The 8th Avenue location, 3 floors, 3 bars, 1 destination. 3 bars, not 3 bubs. And they're not the Wolverine. There might be someone. They don't have claws.
Who can do a convincing Hugh Jackman accent.
Not
in either Canadian or American accent. If Hugh Jackman at one of the 3 floors.
That's right. Hey, another Aussie. It's the Sports Cantina with all things sports, hockey, football, soccer, UFC, plus games like Golden Tee, Buck Hunter, pinball, darts, and more. With game day, $7 pints of Molson. It's located in the heart of Stephen Avenue, and also there's a location on 4th Street, which I prefer because it's closer to my house.
That's fair.
There you go. That's the Unicorn. Good spot. Really good spot. Still need to make my way back there. It is very much, you know how you talk about things that are off the beaten path? It's on the beaten path, and it's in a good way. It's rocking. People beat the path to go there because it's the Unicorn.
It's true.
It's true.
I mean, I'm old as hell, and I remember drinking at the Unicorn University, and it's still the best compliment I can give both of the establishments is even though they're different places than the original, they still feel this. This all got the vibe.
It's all about how it feels.
And the beer selection, of course.
Don't know what this is referring to, but Mr. Public Pain, a good fella in the chat, saying he's investing in Gould. What does that mean? What is there?
Gold? Is that a typo?
I don't know what there is to invest in. I don't have an IPO. I think at the Unicorn they got some IPAs. but there has not been an initial public offering
If
on
you want to
Gould.
invest in Gould, next time you see me at the Unicorn, maybe get him some wings.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
That would be because then he'd be full of food.
That's the thing.
And while he's actively eating, he can't do accents.
That's right.
It's an investment both in his physical health and your mental health. So everybody benefits.
Well, it's like how Jux JC said that they spotted me at South Center a few weeks ago and didn't come say hi. And what you could have done instead was come over and then take me over to one of the food court spots and just sort of feed me. That's a good way to interact if you recognize somebody. I'll buy you food, buy you a drink, buy you a coffee. Let's do that. Do that.
Do you know who I saw at the CHL game?
Who did you see at the CHL game, Ryan Pike?
Farley the Fox.
Oh,
I saw a bunch of like TV personalities too, but I hadn't seen the Hitman mascot in a while.
Yeah,
I got a high five and I was very excited. Mascots are awesome. I met them. I met that one guy, the one mascot who represented the city with the Mitsubishi dealership. So he was dressed up in a Mitsubishi costume.
Yes,
in Japan. I got a selfie and I was so happy.
You know who I met the other day?
Who?
Cabby.
Nice.
He was here.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
You got the new show.
You got the new show. That's the thing.
Off the roster.
That's right.
Every day, focusing primarily on Toronto sports, but they're going to touch on a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Dan Riccio from Vancouver.
Shameless plug.
He's jumping in on that show. The woman who does our Blue Jays podcast, she's really good. The one that she does it with.
Right.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to look this up.
Blue Jays made a big signing
really
today.
Good. She's really good.
Blue Jays signed a reliever today, I think, out of Japan. Although he's not Japanese, I think he had gone over to Japan, and I think he was their league MVP. Forget exactly what their name.
So Lindsay Dunn Pike.
Yeah, you and I both looked at the same time.
I don't think that's who they signed.
Nation Network YouTube channel. Watch it after you watch all of our stuff 2 or 3 times.
It was Cody Ponce who they signed.
And while you're here, like and subscribe so that way we can keep paying and feeding Jack.
And me.
Cabby will be there every day, Monday to Friday.
It was fun. I was doing a warmies, and it was one of the early warmies. It was for I think the 2:00 game against whoever they played that 2:00 game against. I think it was Florida, and Cabby was in the next room over. We've sort of converted this to a dual studio, and so he was yelling over there and talking and doing stuff, and it was great Cabby stuff. And I sort of had access to it all behind me, and it gave me the inspiration I needed to make the warmies just truly fantastic that day. And you know what? It was way better than the one we had today. So I'll take that as a win. Yeah, head on over to the Unicorn. I don't know how we got to this, but we appreciate the support that the Unicorn gives us. We appreciate the support that all of our partners give us. And the Unicorn is one of the top ones, I would say, for sure. Although they're really all tied for first.
I mean, to be fair, we were going to the Unicorn before they sponsored us, and then they're like, "You want us to?"
Yeah,
we would love.
That's the best one, best way of doing it. It's synergy.
We know and do get some support from some fabulous local establishments throughout the city in various sectors. So yeah, between all our shows, we're very lucky. So
that's right.
Thank you, especially those of you still in the chat. On a snowy December evening, after the Flames lose by 4 goals to Nashville at the end of a road trip, you guys are the real all-stars.
That's right.
And Gould should be investing in you.
That's right. Yeah, come on, don't invest in me.
But if you want to feed him, he won't be mad.
I won't. Take me to Edo, Japan or something. Not a sponsor.
Yet.
Hey, off the top of the show, we mentioned Afterburner's presentation of Bet365, and we got a look at one of the games on the docket tomorrow, which features a upcoming opponent for this Calgary Flames team, and boy, is it a doozy. Utah against Anaheim. Neither team favored in this one. They're really hedging, both at -110.
Because it's Utah on a back-to-back.
Yeah.
Are they playing tonight?
No, they're not.
Okay,
they played last night.
Yeah, so it's Utah on a day's rest and Anaheim without their 2 goalies. They're playing their 3rd-string goalie, I think.
Oh, are they playing Husso? Yeah, I guess they would be.
Yeah, because
Marasic
got hurt
and Joe Stahl's hurt too. Yeah.
So they're down. They're doing what I call pulling a Vancouver and basically going so deep into your goaltending tandems that I haven't heard of half these guys.
Yeah. There was a certain TSN contributor who I will not name on this show because I don't want to do that. But since that particular TSN contributor in late October posited the question of whether the Utah Mammoth are a Stanley Cup contender. They've gone 5-13, and they are now 500. Good enough for a tie now with the Edmonton Oilers in points percentage.
The goaltending tandem for the Anaheim Ducks at present is Ville Husso and Vyacheslav Butiets.
Oh,
Butiets?
I think is
Butiets.
But yeah,
From scenic Chelyabinsk, Russia.
Oh,
I betcha he played for Tractor.
Probably played for Tractor, Chelyabinsk.
Tractor Chelyabinsk.
Yeah, yeah. Those KHL team names are amazing. My favorite will always be Metallurg Magnitogorsk.
There's actually multiple Metallurg teams because much like they do in Japanese club sports, the teams are named after the primary industry.
That's right.
So Avangard Omsk, or the trainmen, were named after the local train company. Metallurg Magnitogorsk. There's a metallurgy in Magnitogorsk. There's a few other ones that are kind of good. Ufa Salavat Yulayev is named after the hero of Ufa. I don't know why they named it after the hero of the town. Russian team names are weird, but it gives us something to fill time with on a show where we wanted to hit a certain time cue.
Yeah.
He did play for Tractor. He came up with Tractor.
Did he?
And then he spent last year split between. Actually, this year he'll have spent time with the Ducks, the Gulls, and the Tulsa Oilers in the hockey hotbed of Tulsa, Oklahoma.
If I have time on the next Warmies show, I will make sure I get whichever producer is involved to play the entire clip of Bob Hartley introducing Avangard Omsk's jerseys from 2 years ago, or I think 2 to 4 years, sometime in the pandemic.
You know who played for Avangard Omsk?
A lot of people.
Kari Ramo.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
I just the only phrase that I will tease from the clip of Bob Hartley introducing the Avangard Omsk jerseys is that he uses the phrase, "A jersey for a player and a nightgown for his lady." That's a real video that a real former Calgary Flames head coach took part in, and it is just absolutely glorious. We will have it on the next Warmies. That is a promise.
I mean, Bob Hartley's been in all kinds of weird videos, including people trying to fight him.
Yes. Well, there's another part of the video where Bob claims that the shoulder patches on the jersey add +70 to the speed.
When I forget what year it was, Mike Camilleri's with the Flames, and he broke in either his hand or his wrist. Something in his hand area. And so, NHL coaches don't really want to go, here's exactly what the injury is, and here's how long it'll be out, because that doesn't work for them. So Bob asked, "Hey, Bob, is it upper body or lower body?"
Just said it was a body injury, right?
No, he said he's injured, and we're like, upper body or lower body? And he says, depends if he's sitting or standing. And we all just sort of chuckle. We're like, what are we supposed to do with
that? That was the old Elaine Vigneault where he said that somebody had a body injury.
He probably had a whiteboard full of quips. Other coaches have like whiteboards full of like trick plays and stuff. They're like, okay, here's the line matchups for our team, and here's what we're gonna do in the power play and the penalty kill. And just Bob has like a whiteboard called Zingers. Well,
that was the whole thing, is that the Flames prospects were always in good hands under Hartley because they always had their preseason tournament in Pennington. And we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, you're just gonna throw stones at a guy because he speaks with a French accent. That's not cool.
This has been the accent show.
My father is from Quebec, and I'm deeply offended by you disparaging our heritage.
It's not. That's Bob Hartley. By all accounts,
When we went to English Canada, we got rid of the E over our last name, or the accent over the E, so we could blend in with Anglophone culture.
I see. I thought you were saying that you changed your name briefly to Ryan Pick.
No, I changed it from that.
Did you?
No.
Oh, yeah. All right. We're going to leave it at that. Thank you all to the folks. Oh, I don't know if we ever made a pick for the Anaheim Utah game tomorrow.
If you ask me, they're all winners. My guess is I would say Utah because they have their
they're due.
They have the goalies they intended to start the season with.
Although they have not been very good. That's the whole thing. Vamelka and Vanacek have really, really struggled.
This might be a game where whoever has less worse goaltending would win. I don't want to say better, but
bet the over. That's going to be our the over is Smooth Jimmy's lock of the week, and we're going to leave it at that.
We need to get you a giant cardboard lock.
Ooh, that's a big lock.
And then for Warm, you can be like, oh, sorry guys, when you're right 48% of the time, you're wrong 53% of the time.
No, it's the other way around. When you're right 52% of the time, you're wrong 48% of the time.
We need to get you giant sunglasses and a giant shiny lock
Miami is my shoe-in of the week. That's right. Yeah, we're just gonna
with a giant shoe.
with a giant shoe. That's right.
We'll get you various props with various gambling properties emblazoned on it, depending what show we're on.
Oh my gosh.
We're already planning ahead, and we're also blowing our props budget.
We've gone 58 minutes on this one. I think that's long enough. Thank you to the good folks over at Bet365, at the U.S. Centers of Calgary, at the Derek Newman Group with CIR Realty, up at Platinum Mitsubishi, down to the Unicorn on 4th and 8th Avenue Southwest, the Calgary Health Foundation, and of course, at the Fairmont Jasper Park Lodge, and running the nationgear.ca store. Lots of good stuff to look at and talk about there. My name is Mike Gould, along with Ryan Pike, after the Calgary Flames defeated, they fell. They defeated themselves. They fell by a 5-1 score to the Nashville Predators at Bridgestone Arena. For our buddy Jack, producing remotely tonight, doing yeoman's work at keeping us on some sort of semblance of schedule. This has been an absolute edition of Afterburner for the ages. Thank you all for tuning in.